Okay, there we go. If you can hear some music in the background, that's Mingus playing, my man, Charles Mingus. Life has got me so nervous now that I can't even listen to rock and roll anymore. I was listening to Bruce just out of solidarity. Life makes me too nervous, man. I haven't done any videos. I've been trying to keep my mind off of things, trying to avoid the news, because every time I turn it on, it's something real bad. Alexa, play Audible. I want to show you what I've been listening to. Wow, that's fuzzy. Hmm. Did I hurt my camera? Well, there. Can you? I guess it's focused into my face. Alexa, stop. I don't want to get any copyright problems there. I don't know. I got Mingus playing, and I got the Rise and the Fall in the Third Reich. I'm an old man, and I'm just trying to enjoy the decade. I hate the 21st century. The Rise and the Fall in the Third Reich was about a terrible thing, but it was a hopeful thing too, because he wrote a book. And after World War II was over, we said, we're never going to do that again, world. Let's try to make it better. And then, what was it, 1990 or 1991, we got rid of communism. You know, and now the world's perfect. Now we can move on to something better and more democratic. Well, look at us now. I remember when Reagan was president, everybody said, that man is Hitler. He's going to start World War III. The Nazis are behind him. They're going to declare martial law. Oliver North, blah, 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 blah. How did that end? Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And he did. Did I agree with everything that Ronald Reagan did? No, I worked for Mondale. Do I think he was an evil man or had evil intent? No, he meant well. I don't agree with everything he did. But things were messed up, and I guess the country maybe needed a realignment, maybe not the way I wanted to. But he certainly wasn't Hitler. Bush got us in that Middle Eastern war, but was Bush Hitler? No. Our democratic values were still upheld. Our social safety net was upheld. He didn't abandon people on Medicaid or old people. Did I agree with everything George Bush did? No. Now we actually have Hitler. He's rounding up foreigners. He's put a wall. Mr. Trump, tear down. I mean, I don't even think they should tear down the wall. I'm, I'm not a rabid leftist. You got to understand that. I'm glad they're doing something about immigration. I'm glad they're doing something about law and order. The whole transgender thing and the woke, the woke thing was a little out of control there. I'm sympathetic to all the underrepresented groups, of all the people that feel put upon, because I was, I was disabled. I'm left-handed. Everybody thought I was a gay Jew, which I'm not, but I kind of know what it feels like to be a gay Jew, because everybody used to call me there's Bill Dykeman, the gay Jew, although my name is Bill Sands. Now, now it's my name. Everybody knows me now as Bill Sands, not Little Billy Kike. I don't know why people call me that, because they thought I was a Jew. Anyways, it's not nice to feel persecuted. I mean, it develops self-hatred. Why does everybody think I'm so strange? What's wrong with me? And then all of a sudden, you're a white guy, so everybody hates you. And then there are 32 genders. And men are playing basketball, and they're changing in front of women. The whole world's upside down. But does that mean I want a Nazi in power? No, it just means I don't even disagree with J.K. Rowling. I mean, something went a little haywire. I was watching Richard Dawkins. See, so this is going to be a little one, and now it's 4 minutes. And he was saying about science, and they were talking about how everybody at the university cheered him when he started talking about creation science and intelligent design being scientific rubbish. It, it, it had nothing to do with science. It was religion. And it has no business being in a university. And he said, but when I went to that same university and started telling him this whole thing about 32 genders and life not being binary, they started calling me a transphobic bigot. And Dawkins said, even hermaphrodites, even people that are intersex, they have chromosomes, they have male chromosomes and female chromosomes, but there's nothing in the middle. They just have both. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like someone that's got a black splotch here and a white splotch here and a yellow splotch here. It doesn't blend. It isn't like races where they're many different and there's a myriad of different um, colors and varieties, and there's nothing wrong with being gay or lesbian or anything like that, or you like dressing up in women's clothing. But as far as being born, you're either born a male or a female, or there's a little deformity in intersex. Not to put anybody down, but he was saying when he went in and started giving him the true line of science, and how science, it's not even a matter of question. In biology, there's an X chromosome and a Y chromosome, and no matter what your brain is telling you, biologically, if you've got a penis and testicles, I mean, more than likely, whether it works or not, you're biologically male. And females have a uterus and tits, and they produce milk, and they can have babies, unless there's something a little wrong, and then it's tragic. So I'm a little bit confused. I'm not into. There's something called the socially conservative left now in Germany. There's some woman called Sarah Buchenauer or something. There's some socially conservative left party, Social Democratic Party of Czechoslovakia, the BSW in Germany, the Socialist Party of the Netherlands, that are moderate to conservative on social issues, but still economically left. I got nothing against any race or gender, but I'm sick and tired of this divisive identity politics stuff. I think Bernie Sanders is right. We should concentrate on stuff that brings us together instead of tearing up each other apart. So I'm not a full fledged politically correct woke person, but at the same time, I'm not this. There was a guy on PBS that was saying, I'm a conservative. And I noticed in the 80s a new phenomenon. There were people like me that were conservatives and stood for something. And then there were people that were just anti progressive, anti what we call now woke. They just wanted to own the libs. They just wanted to tear down everything. They didn't stand for anything. They basically just wanted to destroy everything. Neocons. And what's left after you destroy everything? Fascism. And these people, these unsophisticated, hateful people, instead of coming up with something constructive, look what they're doing with the economy. And I promised I wouldn't do this. Look what they're doing with the economy and tariffs. My God, they're giving billionaires tax breaks. And they're ending aids. They're ending aid, food aid, and medical aid to starving people in Sudan. They're kicking people off Medicaid. It's like it's unbelievable. It's like some comic book villain. It really is. You can't write this shit, and they're proud of it. They think it's great. Oh, we'll put these lazy people. The reason why people are on Medicaid is because there's something wrong and they can't work. There's some people that are old people, young people, maybe people with a back problem. I walk with a cane now, for God's sakes. If you wanted me to go back to work, I'll be dead in a month. I have a bad heart. I have to be careful what I do. So without my Social Security and my Medicare and my whatever other supplements I have, I'm a dead man. That's why I'm angry. I remember saying, God, if Trump would just please leave my Social Security alone, I'll keep my mouth shut. I just want to live through this. But he's not gonna. He's not gonna, is he? He's gonna if he's going after people that disagree with him. He's going after Harvard. What did that guy Schlotnick say? Anybody that complains is committing fraud. They're just going to say anybody that they don't like is corrupt. He's sicking the government on, was it Jimmy Kimmel and Alexandria? They're arresting judges. They're arresting members of the House of Representatives. This is Nazi stuff. I honestly, and please don't be offended about this if you're Jewish, but my family hid Jews during the war. I'm afraid I'm going to get carted off to a concentration camp because I can't keep my mouth shut. I do suffer. I admit it. I suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. It's like Philip K. Dick said. Sometimes the appropriate response to reality is to just go insane. So I'm going to stop doing these videos because all I do is rant, and I guess most people don't want to hear it. But I'll tell you one thing: if you're watching this, because I pissed off a lot of people on the gun channels. I think in more stable times, I would still support some form of gun control. I don't really believe it should be a right. It should be close to a right, but not quite a right. I'm just going to tell you what I think. Obviously, you think this is fascism, but when I say that, I mean if you want to own a gun, you should go through a background check and prove that you have a clean record. You don't have anger issues. You don't beat your mom up or beat your wife up or get in bar fights. You have no chronic alcoholism or drug problems. And if there are any red flags, forget it. Now, in countries that have this, like the Czech Republic, you can, if you're intelligent enough to Google Czech gun laws or Swiss gun laws, you'll see that they have red flag laws in those countries. Well, in Switzerland, if you don't pay your speeding tickets, they'll come and take your guns. They're Germans. They want you to be a good citizen. That's all I'm saying. People that are hopped up on crack, that beat their wives, that hear voices, or are members of the incel community that think that women owe them sex because they're losers and no decent woman no woman would want them, be decent or otherwise. It's their fault, not women's fault. That's women. I mean, not to sound sexist, but in biology, the role that women play is, ooh, he's a good provider. Oh, look how big he is. Well, big. All right, we're going to avoid that. He looks strong. He's a good hunter. If someone tries to grab me, he'll protect me. He'll protect our children. Well, he doesn't seem to drink too much, and he hardly ever hits me. I think he'll let me plug me and have kids. I'll have kids with him. See, that's their role. They're looking for someone reliable, and that's their role in the biological scheme of things. Picking out a male that seems to have strong evolutionary qualities that will survive. It's not always the strongest or the smartest that survive. It's the entity or the organism that is best able to adapt to its environment. If the environment's changing, they're flexible. I know people like that. They just maybe they're not stupid, but maybe they're not the brightest or the most creative. Maybe they're not the fastest, but they're a good combo. They're quick, they're alert, and when they see change coming, we're willing to adapt. And I think, I mean, I know things now and now, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. In the past, you know, women didn't have the physical strength, and they just had to deal with the subservient role that they were given because they really didn't have any choice. Now that we have technology and society has evolved a little bit, I don't know. Maybe we're going back to the Handmaid's Tale. I don't really want to, but I think maybe the whole transgender and women, the male gaze and everything. I think these lefty things they went a little bit too far, and you pissed off the white men. So maybe you could kind of calm that down, a little bit. I'm not saying it's all your fault. I'm just saying maybe 10% of it might be your fault, and the rest of these assholes, these brainless fucktards. I'm not supposed to swear. These booby heads, these doo doo brains that says they're losing their white privilege because they're not in charge anymore. They gotta become Nazis. I wish everybody would just calm down and sit down and talk to each other. Sometimes the appropriate response to reality is to just go insane. So I'm not going to say anything. If you disagree with me, fine. Just think he's a lunatic. He'll be dead soon. Look how fat he is. High blood pressure. Lazy bastard. He probably doesn't. Well, I've been working. I've been working out. I've been lifting weights. I've been on the treadmill. I just went for a walk tonight. I almost fell over. I forgot to take my flashlight with me or my mace. But you can hate me if you want. I don't hate you. It's just that I'm just going crazy. I've lived through a golden age of democracy, Kennedy, the moonshot. We got through the Vietnam War. We got through the Reagan years, the energy crisis, the Clinton era. Our country was on the verge in '79, and we came every time we had a crisis: the Vietnam War, the recession in '79, the oil crisis, um, Clinton getting a blowjob in the White House from Monica Lewinsky. We always seem to manage to, the Middle Eastern crisis, 9/11. Bush wasn't that bad, not really, but Trump is. I've lived long enough to tell you that we've been crying wolf for so long. Now we got a wolf. And everybody's going, yeah, Reagan, Nixon was a Nazi. He wasn't the greatest, but yeah, I think he was decent enough. Instead of declaring martial law, he just resigned. People said, "Mr. President, for the good of the country, you got to resign." He resigned, which was good. Oh God, my leg! It's just look at how gray my hair is. I'm an old man. Okay, this is so upsetting. For the good of the country, resign. Reagan, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. George Bush, what did he say? Someone passed the cocaine. No, old George was all right. He used to share jelly beans with Michelle Obama. He might have not have been perfect, and he that war was a bad idea. But he thought he was doing right. Maybe just got some bad advice. I did okay during Bush. Nobody rounded me up or anything. But I'm telling you, I wake up every morning. Is there going to be a knock at the door? Who are they rounding up this week? The Muslims, the Mexicans, the gay people, the transgenders? People with big mouths, the communists, and then they'll come for me, and no one will be left to speak up. I don't know. Should I be quiet? Should I make a lot of noise? Should I just sit here and listen to Mingus? I don't know. I guess maybe I should just keep my attic clean. Maybe some people will need to hide up there. Oh, this is so sad.